What's up, everybody? It is your boy Baddog. Happy Monday, everybody. Here's a New York Giants video. I know it's been a while since I've done Giants video, but let's face it, there really hasn't been much to talk about. Not much anyway. And I like to take a break from the Giants when summer gets here, man. I love football. I love football, love the Giants. I also love the summer. I like to take a break from all this stuff. But um, they've done a lot of good things in this offseason. It felt like the draft was really good. Obviously, they were able to get Daniel Jones on a contract, Dexter Lawrence. They're making moves. And I love the direction the team is going. I think that our front office knows what the hell they're doing. I think they have a clear and concise direction on how, where they want to bring this team and how they want to build this team. And I think the coaching staff is fantastic as well. And as a New York Giants fan, I think you have to be pretty excited about the future. They took a major step forward last year and they kind of accelerated the process. Now, I think that a lot of Giants fans are expecting good things, this year from the Giants and better than last year. I think that there's probably a lot of Giants fans out there and I expect to win double-digit games this year. And I'll do another video on the schedule. I know I haven't done that yet either, but I will do a video on the schedule, giving my thoughts on the schedule. I'm not going to do any predictions yet because, quite frankly, to predict who I think we're going to win or lose these games, I don't even know who the hell's on the team. So I don't know who's healthy, who's not. I usually do that like at the end of August, like right before the season. So we'll do that. But I'll go over the schedule, give you my thoughts on it. But I want to give you my thoughts on Saquon Barkley because Saquon Barkley, the reports have come out that the Giants offered him $12.5 million per season during the bye week. He turned it down. Then there was a contract out there that said he was going to make $13 million a year with upwards of $14 million a year, and he turned this down too. Saquon being a little greedy and not a good look. It's not a good look. Saquon Barkley is obviously a very important player to this team. He's a great clubhouse guy. Everybody loves him. He's a leader. He is probably the most talented offensive player on our team. He's one of the most talented running backs in the league. He always has. Since he came into the league, he always has been that guy. Of course, he's dealt with a lot of injuries. And we did see him at times last year maybe get worn down a little bit and have a couple games where he really didn't have a good game, wasn't effective. That could be a number of things. It could be the fact that our interior offensive line is no good and trying to build that up in front of him. But the Giants also drafted Eric Gray, and I'm not saying that Gray is going to take Saquon Barkley's spot, but Eric Gray is the type of guy that's going to get you those ground and pound yards, those 3rd and 2s, those 3rd and 1s, maybe some goal line situations. You're going to put him in there because he is a downhill runner. He runs very hard. He's not like Saquon Barkley, where Saquon is a hard runner, but obviously Saquon's more of an explosive guy, where Eric Gray is just, I catch the ball, I get the ball and I just go forward. He's a guy that's always moving forward, not perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. Saquon Barkley is gambling a lot here. That's a lot of money. I think there's only 2 running backs in the league. I could be wrong about that make more than that. I know Christian McCaffrey makes $16 million a year, and Saquon Barkley said, well, I'm not looking to set records for like running back contracts. And at the same time, the Giants offered him $14 million. So what are you looking to do, Saquon? Did $15 million a year? Is it really worth fighting over? I mean, listen, $1 million is something I'll never see in my lifetime. So I can't speak to what $1 million is, okay? But when in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at $15 million or $14 million, is an extra million really worth it? And if you're going to play under the tag this year, you're going to lose $4 million or at least $3 million if we got $13 million a year. Are you going to make that back? Do you think that sitting out a year and not playing under the franchise tag is going to increase your running back value? The fact of the matter is the running back market, the value of a running back has been going down for years. Just look at Ezekiel Elliott. He got released. There's talk about releasing Dalvin Cook because of how much money he makes. Miles Sanders had a great year for Philadelphia last year, over 1,200 yards rushing. And I think he got just over $6.25 million a year to go sign with Carolina. So the running back market's not there. Josh Jacobs, a bunch of guys got tagged. This isn't nothing new. It's not like the Giants are playing hardball at Saquon. As a matter of fact, I think they've been generous with Saquon Barkley, who's had 2 full seasons. This year was really good. And I was reading Patricia Trainer's article, and she did a great job. But I like when she put in there, he did outdo his rookie. I think this was her that said this. It was her. I shouldn't say it because maybe she didn't write this. I thought it was her. So if it wasn't you, Patty, I digress. But it said he outdid his rushing total by, in his rookie year by a whopping 5 yards. And in his rookie season, he averaged 5 yards a carry. This year, he averaged 4.4 yards a carry, which just tells you he got a lot more carries this season, even though he did only play 16 games because obviously he didn't play the last game of the season. But again, he's a leader in the clubhouse. Would you look at the Giants? They have extended guys, they've given guys contracts. There are guys that have taken 1-year deals to play here. We saw guys like Darius Slayton take a pay cut to stay here. The guys in the Giants want to win. These guys are not about themselves. They're not about the money. I get it. You want to get your bag. I understand that. You want to get paid what you're worth. And that's in any profession. I'm not sitting there saying Saquon should just bend over and be like, oh, it's okay. Whatever. I'm cool with whatever. I'm not saying that. But you can't expect them to give you Christian McCaffrey money. $15 million. $14 million is plenty at a position that just isn't valued at what it used to be valued. When I was growing up in the 90s, yeah. When you looked at the Dallas Cowboys, you weren't worried about Troy Aikman. I still think Emmitt Smith's overrated. I'll always think that because he played behind a great offensive line. But Emmitt Smith was the best offensive player on that roster at that time. You didn't go, we got to stop Troy Aikman, who threw for more than 20 touchdowns one time in his entire career. You were like, we're going in there. We have to stop Emmitt Smith. That was the way you beat Dallas. We're going to stop their offense. We got to stop their running game. That was it. When you played against the Lions, you weren't worried about Rodney Peete or Joey Harrington. It's like, hey, I got to stop Barry Sanders. When you played the Chicago Bears, it was, no, I'm worried about Jim McMahon and Doug Flutie. It was, I got to stop Walter Payton. But things have changed. That's not the way the game is played anymore. It's a lot of RPOs. It's a lot of running quarterbacks now. It's a lot of passing. It's the way the league is set up. I'm still an advocate of running the ball. I believe running the ball is very important when it comes to ball control, wearing down a defense, and being able to convert on third and short. I'm an advocate of, get those long drives and own that time of possession and playing ahead of the sticks, getting 3 and 4 yards on first down. I think it's a very big part of winning football games, but it's not as valued as it used to be. Saquon is 26 years old, and, he's definitely dealt with some injury issues. So how much can you trust him? You guys are always worried about this guy just came off a career season, but God, it was in a free agent year. I mean, listen, we saw what happened with Kenny Golladay, right? Had a really good career in Detroit. Giants paid him all that money. Free agent year sucked. It happens a lot. Guys have big free agent years, then they get paid. And I'm not saying Saquon Barkley would dog it or anything, but if the Giants are willing to commit to you $14 million a year, or $13 million a year, if it's $13 million, $14 million with incentives, I don't know the way the contract was laid out. I would imagine it's got a lot of incentives in there because of his injury history. But Saquon Barkley is just going to end up costing himself money in the long run, because is another team going to go out there and go, okay, well, you know what, Saquon, you sit out this year and, come off a year where you're going to be 27 next year after sitting out a year, and we'll give you 15, 16 million a year. It's just not wise. Again, I'm not sitting here trying to kill Saquon or anything like that, but when you read that he's turned down 14 million, and in the same breath he says, I'm not trying to set the new level for running backs as far as getting paid goes, I don't understand where the disconnect is between 14 and 16 million dollars. I have a hard time understanding it. If it's guaranteed money, whatever, I don't know, because I don't know the contract, but all I know is that he turned down upwards of 14 million per season. It's not like the Giants don't want him here. I think that's plenty for a running back this day and age. He'd be one of the highest paid running backs in the league. So I don't know what the deal is. This seems to be more coming from Barkley's camp than the Giants camp at this point. And there's going to be a point where he's going to push and push and push, and the Giants going to say, wash your hands, everybody. You're playing under the tag. You're playing under the tag. You're not playing this year. Or, we'll tag you and trade you, whatever it is. But Saquon Barkley, I think that he's playing a dangerous game here. I think that Saquon Barkley just needs to go in there, and they need to hash this out. I want Barkley to be a Giant for the next 3 or 4 years. There's no question about it. I know the Giants want Saquon Barkley to be a Giant for the next 3 or 4 years. And the question is now, does Saquon want to be a Giant? Does Saquon want to get as much money as he possibly can? Because, again, I don't think there's teams out there that are going to sit there and go, yeah, let's bring Saquon Barkley in here and let's pay him Christian McCaffrey money. Anything can happen in the NFL, so it's a possibility, but it's just hard for me to fathom that somebody's going to reach out there and give him 4 years, $60 million. I would like, 38 million guarantee. I just don't see it happening. So again, I don't know what the disconnect is. I think they have until July 17th. I don't know if that's the correct date or not to get something done before he has to make that decision whether he plays under the franchise tag or not. So they do still have time. In my gut, in my heart, I do believe he will be a Giant. I do believe they'll work something out. I just don't know what Saquon's looking for. And I wish he would say what he's looking for. Because if this comes out that the Giants offered him this money and he's turned down 2 contracts now, I wish the reports come out what he's looking for. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one that would like to know what he's asking for and why they can't get something done. But anyway, that's all I got in this video. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I will see you next time. Baddog Dizzle out. Peace.